Here we go. Illinois state budget. Governor Bruce Rauner entered office over 2 years ago on the promise of reform. Do you remember when he went in?
I do, yeah.
Did you vote for him the first time?
I did not vote for Rauner.
It's too bad. The democratically led General Assembly and a small group of breakaway Republicans, not unlike the Empire in its early form, just passed a budget and tax hike over Governor Rauner's veto. There are $15 billion in unpaid bills, yet the governor still didn't go along. There are $15 billion in unpaid bills, yet the governor still did not go along with balancing the budget. So he basically said, you know, whatever, go off and do it. I'm vetoing this thing, and the Assembly overrode him. Illinois' own Dick Cheney, commonly known as Michael Madigan, I don't know if you caught the Star Wars reference there, remains firmly in control of what happens when in state government. Who's at fault for the mess that is the state of Illinois government? And we'll start with you again. The Cuban.
Yeah, go 2 for 2 here. I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys.
Shocker.
The citizens of Illinois
Whoa.
are to blame here. You know, I hate to quote our great President Trump right now, but it's time to drain the swamp that is the state of Illinois. If we just keep Madigan, you know, the man in the high towers, like to call him, another Amazon show, you know, in control there, and his cronies, his daughter's the Attorney General, whoever's in charge is just a puppet to this Madigan guy. The whole thing just needs to be blown up. Everybody just needs to get voted out. So I blame the citizens, especially the district where Madigan comes from, that just keeps re-electing this guy. 30-something years as the House Speaker, something's wrong there.
First of all, it's The Man in the High Castle.
Man, yes, sorry.
It's fine.
Close enough.
It's a book before it's an Amazon series.
I would have understood.
Something that I didn't have to buy from Amazon either. I was able to just own it from a bookstore. I actually have to agree with my brother from Havana. I absolutely feel like we as Illinois citizens have put ourselves into this position repeatedly. Again, 30 years. You don't want anybody in 30 years ago, the world was a completely different place than it is now. You know,
because it was 30 years ago.
Right, exactly. Things age with time.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Sometimes, yeah. If it's a nice bottle of wine, if it's a great record, oftentimes those age very well. If it's a politician, particularly a white male politician, those don't age particularly well, especially when they see themselves being threatened by making shifts that would potentially help other people, especially the disenfranchised of the state of Illinois. However, while I do think it is Illinois citizens' fault for continuously voting this person in, and then being shocked when something doesn't go right, I also believe that Rauner has a job to do, and I think he, much like most of the actual, national government of the United States right now, are putting party over country. In this case, party over the state of Illinois.
So you're saying every citizen of the state of Illinois is at fault for the fact that they didn't vote out the bums over the last 30 years?
Yes.
Or is it specifically Madigan? Or what's your...
Well, I think it's Madigan. Madigan is definitely the key problem. That's very clear. Again, 30 years of the same shit means that it's your fault. I mean, what is that? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me...
Yeah, but he's just one person out of...
Yeah, but oftentimes all it takes is one person. Here's the thing. Do you remember...
So, go ahead.
The Emperor, when he came in...
Is that Hirohito?
No. No. Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, that one.
When the Emperor... And he wasn't the Emperor, he was a senator, right? Everyone thought he was a good guy. Everyone thought that he was there to help everyone else. And he's manipulating things, both in front and behind the scenes. And eventually he turns into a weird, decrepit, old, terrifying dude. That's what's happening here with Madigan. He is the Emperor.
So I think you're hooked on It takes more than one guy, right? So I think there's a couple of things. Madigan and his cronies are part of the problem. But, I go back to something you said, that Rauner had a job. Not sure what I understand what his agenda is. He wants to, besides playing the tough guy, hey, I'm here to bust the unions, I want to do this, I want to do that. Not sure what he's trying to do besides being a blocker for the Democrats, right? And I think that's what the problem is. I mean, and I understand where he's coming from, that, hey, he doesn't want to play ball with Madigan and expose him for what he is.
But 2/3 of the General Assembly voted for this budget. Yeah. Rauner did not.
Yeah. I mean, I think
So
at one and I think at that point they had to do something because
that's true.
There was bigger things
Okay,
at risk.
but here's the thing. Both of you have basically said the people of Illinois are stupid. Right?
Not
That's basically what you
stupid.
said.
I mean, I
they're
think,
stupid
yeah.
for voting the same people, and then you came back and said, and so that's the majority. Then you go to the minority, meaning Rauner and the people who didn't vote for us, and you're saying that those people are stupid.
Well, I mean,
And so it's like you got to pick somebody that's stupid and somebody that's smart, and not that they're all smart, and not that they're all stupid. But
There's a great
but here's
movie,
the thing.
Dumb and Dumber.
Let me give it to you straight.
yeah, please.
Okay, it's Michael Madigan, and the issue that you're talking about, and what you mean to say, because I can read minds,
Thank you.
is that it's the citizens of Michael Madigan's ward who are not voting him out, right? Those are the people that, I'm not blaming them for everything, but those are the people that basically they're, to use a crass term, sucking on the tit of government and getting benefit.
Yeah, their streets are clean.
Their streets are clean. They're taken care of
Yeah.
first. You know, they get the it's like pork barrel, right?
Yeah.
You get this
They have
stuff
garbage
written in.
cans on every corner.
They have garbage cans in every corner. That so it's like they get everything.
Too many garbage cans.
Yeah, at a certain
Because he's
point, they're not
powerful.
filling up.
So, that's one problem.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you another big problem that neither of you two fine gentlemen have mentioned so far, and that's the redistricting that was done by the Democrats in this state, but by Republicans in many other states, where they basically redrawn, gerrymandered the districts, and I know you're a big fan of gerrymandering,
Yeah.
to such that it doesn't really matter who votes because they're so heavily tilted one way or the other. And that's a major problem. And I know that right now there's a big, isn't the Supreme Court's going to look at this next year?
Yeah, I think it's on the agenda for the next session.
And we'll have our intern look into this because this
AC
is going to be a
Slater.
big topic
Maybe
coming up.
AC Slater can look it up. No, I definitely think that's the issue. People in power want to stay in power.
Yes.
Illinois doesn't have term limits. Madigan's a perfect example. I think their salary is about $67,000 a year for a state congressman or senator here in the state of Illinois. And surprise, surprise, he's a lawyer that handles tax exemption and real estate taxes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think if we want to fix the system, you got to have term limits, maybe pay these guys more, and you got to have a balanced budget amendment and force, hey, the budget's not balanced, you're not getting paid, and you'll see things
Yeah, I
dramatically
think that's
change.
fair.
Now,
Go ahead.
no, I think again, we've talked about taxes and the Asian carp and the back tax and the silver tax. I don't see an agenda here. All I see is from Ronner, hey, I'm going to bust this up. I'm here to fix things, and the Democrats are just like, no, we need a budget. We need more taxes. There needs to be somebody with a cohesive agenda to move Illinois forward.
Now, let me tell you, before we go to the closing question, the real source of the problem here.
I thought you already did.
I'm giving you what really caused the budget problem we have today.
Gotcha.
Do you know of something called the Edgar Ramp?
No.
Can't say that I do.
Wow. Do you guys even know history?
I know a lot about.
Yeah.
I
The
know
Edgar
about William
Ram.
Howard Taft.
Let me read this to you. The fault for the budget mess lies with former Governor Jim Edgar, who presided over the disastrous ramp idea that allowed the state government to short the state pension coffers with catch-up payments later, equaling roughly 10x the difference. So they were paying, let's say, $250 million in 1995.
Mhm.
They had to pay $2.5 million this year. Actually, it's even higher than that.
Yeah.
$6 billion.
I
I think.
didn't know that was the name of it.
Yeah, that's the name of it. Madigan skillfully pushed Illinois to the brink in 2017 by passing on a lower hurdle budget deal in May when he could have passed something with only Democratic votes, but he forced the Republicans. Madigan did a brilliant job from a political perspective getting the Republicans to bind it because he could have passed the same budget back at the end of May with a lower vote threshold, but he played his cards right and he basically backed Rauner into corner. So it's the Edgar Ramp. Madigan's the bad guy here, at least mostly. And
He's Depression Day bad guy.
yeah. So let's go on to the exit question, unless you have a question about the Edgar Ramp.
No,
I feel very confident that you're right.
No, I didn't know that was the name of it.
Yeah, that's it. For all you Eagles out there, look out for the
Yeah.
Edgar Ramp. All right, so closing question. For which musician with vocal political opinions would you start a Change.org petition to help rub the Springfield pancreas next year to avoid a budget stalemate so that we get a state budget for the second year in a row?
I have a
Mr.
feeling that we're going to say the same person, and if we don't, I'll be disappointed in
You
you.
probably won't. We'll continue.
I'm going to go out and say that this is someone who's already been very politically active in the Illinois state government, both from a mayoral of Chicago all the way up to the Governor Rauner. It's Chance the Rapper, 100%.
Okay.
Without a doubt, because he has not only the the audacity to kind of go against the status quo, but the backing of the people of the state of Illinois. Absolutely.
Okay. That's a good one. That's not my answer, but that's a good answer.
If you say U2, I would walk.
No, I will not say U2. Although there's some very Irish history in the city of Chicago. I'm gonna come out of left field here.
Whoa.
I'm gonna go Billy Corgan, citizen of the state.
Greatest musician of this state.
Mundeslime comes from Mundeslime. He's taken. Maybe he can serenade Springfield with his beautiful music and his vocals. But he owns a wrestling league. Maybe he can get these guys to wrestle to figure all this out, and maybe we can move Illinois forward.
Donald Trump, President Trump, was actually in the WWF.
So wrestling is a great
WrestleMania.
metaphor for politics.
Oh, that's a good one. What do you think?
Pre-production meeting,
Mr.
maybe.
Milwaukee?
You need to start going to the pre-production meeting.
I don't know what to say. Although, to be honest with you, I would throw my money into the ring to watch Rauner fight Madigan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be great. It'd be great.
Because even if only one comes out, it's still better than
It's
both.
We don't need both of them.
And Abraham Lincoln was a great high school wrestler. Just
Oh.
letting you guys know. A little tidbit of Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, so it's likely that there's going to be a continuing mess and battle in Springfield that lasts longer than Vietnam. And, Vietnam lasts a long time. So,
Still lasts for some people.
it's true. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but I will wish it on, and I choose Bruce Springsteen to rub the state's pancreas.
How come?
As no fan of the petty name-calling and corrupt cash grabbing, or grab of cash, as some people like to say in Springfield, there's only one state that produces musicians bold enough to name themselves upon birth, and that's the state of New Jersey. For that reason, I select Bruce Springsteen, the boss, the self-proclaimed boss, as someone that we can sacrifice for the state of Illinois.
Wow.
So your assumption is that the musician who goes in will not be the same musician who comes out. They'll be a shell of their former
They
selves.
might not come back.
At
I'm hoping they're not coming out.
Oh, wow.
Suicide
Wow,
mission.
this is just
Yeah,
like...
this is intense.
As I said,
Okay.
I'm no fan
Sure, no.
of the
Yeah.
self-proclaimed
I mean-
boss because of the attitude of the Who names himself the boss at birth? I just don't get it.
I don't think he
Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
I'll look the Wikipedia
You
part.
please
I'll,
look
I'll
that
get
up.
the interns to look at it.
You look that up.
Yeah. I'm not in disagreement, but I don't necessarily want a national treasure to perish.
You mean like Michael Madigan?
Like Michael Madigan. I do not want national treasure of Michael Madigan to perish at the hands of the boss. The violent boss.
All right.